Time SEC Freshman of the Week, Aaliyah Chavez, who had 15 points in overtime against South Carolina. What's different for her these days?
Obviously, she's a superior, elite offensive talent. But I'll go back to what we just talked about. Her decision-making late has been the difference. Obviously, against South Carolina, she hit huge shots. But you look at her floor game. Turnovers are down. Assists are up. That is a positive sign for Oklahoma and Jenny Baranczyk.
And the calm in the storm for the Aggies has been Nicira Pryor, only player in the country who's top 10 nationally in both assists and steals. What's been her value?
Well, she's a two-way player. Terrific out front. Obviously, that pressure she puts on the ball defensively important for A&M. Offensively, she's always in attack mode. Oklahoma, very concerned about her tonight. She was great in College Station on New Year's Day. Her ability to get downhill and create for others and get to the foul line is what she does best.
Mata Jane jumps center for the Aggies. Reagan Beers controls the tap for the Sooners, and Oklahoma has the first possession here at the Lloyd Noble Center. Little adjustments, maybe a little tweaks for both these teams. This is the only time during the regular season either will play an opponent for the second time. And it goes to Sahara Williams, just having a career type of year. That was tipped out of bounds by Reagan Beers. To the Aggies it will go.
Well, Chad, anytime you go on the road, it doesn't matter who you are, particularly in this league, you want to get out to a good start. A&M has shown signs and stretches of being really good defensively. They need to get a good start there so they can hopefully get something going on the offensive end. That's a nice way to begin.
Lauren Ware in that starting five, as you just saw. She has the rebound and put back to get the Aggies off to a good start. And then Zia Vann turns it over for the Sooners. Picked up by Lamaya Hilton. Trying to post inside with Jane. Jane guarded by Sahara Williams in there. Now Ware. Dribble drive, double teamed. Solid ball movement, but late shot clock. Three-ball Hilton, and that's down. 5-0 start for A&M on the road. Well, Sooners starting lineup here, and it's been the same for every game this season. We talked about Chavez, the All-American Beers, and there's Beers getting two, Brendan.
Well, Oklahoma, when they get put in the half court here tonight, got to make sure that Beers gets those touches inside that they don't go away from. Not only her ability to score, but she puts so much pressure on defenses, and then her teammates can play off of it.
And Oklahoma loves to do this. Rebound and run, and Zia Vann converts. And Joni Taylor is not going to stand for that transition defense. They give up the easy deuce, and she takes a quick timeout. Sahara Williams and the Sooners off to a solid start here. She feeds Reagan Beers and then scores on the other end. 5-4 Aggies trying to win on the road in Norman. Strong legal background, commitment to winning and relationship building. He just addressed the crowd and he said Jenny Baranczyk has started a fire at the Lloyd Noble Center. It's time to pour the gasoline on. Her team trying to do that here in the early going. Texas A&M out to a hot start. Jane off with that one, and Reagan Beers another rebound.
Yeah, and A&M, the reason Coach Taylor called that timeout, I mean, you're off to a good start on the offensive end, but a big key against anybody, particularly Oklahoma, who's elite in transition, is getting back. Both those buckets were in transition, one off a make and one off a miss from A&M.
This is Zia Vann. Sahara Williams has been very present so far tonight. Peyton Verhulst in and out on that three-point try. Aggies watch Hilton weave to the foul line. The dump down goes into Ware, and Ware converts for the second time.
Boy, nice job right there, Ware. Getting isolated inside, the good footwork.
Back cut Zia Vann produces two for the Sooners. Sophomore is having a great second season as a Sooner.
With so many good pieces. Obviously, you think about Chavez out front, Beers inside, but this is a deep ball club with length and athleticism. Vann is certainly one of those players.
Lauren Ware off the mark with that three-point try and a foul underneath. Jenny Baranczyk certainly likes the way that her team has performed these last 2 games. She said they have been better. Now she wants those end game situations to continue, loves the defensive effort, and looking forward to get a little bit better on the offensive end, I think, tonight, Brendan.
Well, particularly in the half court. You're going to get into half court grinders a lot at this level in the SEC. You know, much like you saw against Auburn. And again, we've touched on it. You just did. They have done a much better job managing games late.
John A. takes it from Williams and converts on the other end. 9-6 Aggies.
And that's something that Texas A&M talked about in shoot-around today. Really pressuring out front as Chavez answers right there. When you look at the game on New Year's Day, Chad, A&M was able to turn Oklahoma over 21 times. A&M actually was excellent defensively. The problem was they weren't able to score on the offensive end, and then they're off to a better start here.
So the step-out 3 by John A. Just a 28% three-point shooter. She had a double-double against Oklahoma in that game on New Year's Day. Rebounding and running opportunistically, the Aggies with Pryor. Pryor gets a screen in there from Emerald Parker. Kick out 3 ball from Hilton is no good. And there's Brooklyn Stewart, the Oklahoma freshman, who's entered the lineup. Reagan Beers getting a breather. Hard attacking drive by Chavez. Couldn't get the shot away. And it's taken away by Pryor. They'll call a foul over the back against Peyton Verhulst. So there is the new Oklahoma AD, Roger Denny, getting to know everybody, and he has had already some nice conversations with many of the staff members at Oklahoma. Deputy Director of Athletics and COO at Illinois, 5 years. Close contact with Illinois football. Certainly important if you're going to be the athletic director at Oklahoma. Sooners coming off that appearance in the college football playoff under Brent Venables this year. 12-8, Aggies on top. Zyvan, a hand in the passing lane, comes up with the steal. Angles to the rim, holding off Pryor, but couldn't finish it. And Kaya Smith has entered the lineup for the Sooners. She gets tied up underneath. Possession arrow favors A&M.
You know, one of the reasons Oklahoma's so good defensively, Chad, is we talked about that length and athleticism out on the perimeter. But what's so impressive is they're a young guard group. But defensive end of the floor is of great value to them. That's rare. I mean, you know, if you're being honest, you can't get upperclassmen to guard like you would want at times. And in fact, when Oklahoma goes to the bench, when Jenny Baranczyk goes to her bench, in many ways they get better defensively. It's impressive.
Aggies have gone to the bench. Chaney Spencer, freshman out of Montgomery, Texas, is in there. Here she is hoisting. I love it. Check in and fire. That's the way you used to do it.
Is that shoot until you get hot?
Absolutely. Brooklyn Stewart up top for Oklahoma. She back cuts, gets the feed from Smith. Can't finish with the left hand. It's out of bounds. It stays right here as it goes off Parker. Tough stretch here for Joni Taylor in her 4th season as the head coach of Texas A&M. And Brendan, the phrase she used with us, competitive stamina. Used it a couple of times. That's in particular what she wants to see starting tonight.
Well, I tell you what, you and I know really enjoyed our conversation with Coach Taylor today. I mean, she is making a big impact, not only at A&M and in the SEC, but nationally with all the hats that she wears. Tremendous perspective. You know, you got a pretty inexperienced team, at least at this level. You're playing in the best conference in the country, and you've had a brutal schedule. So her challenge right now is, you know, relaying to her ball club that we can get it going. You just have to have some positive things happen to you. You're going to get beat in this league even when you play well.
Aaliyah Chavez starting to get it going for the Sooners, who climb back within a point. Just over midway through this opening period. Pryor is back in there. Tough mid-range shot with Stewart flying at her, and she buried it.
Yeah, that's the thing with Pryor. I mean, she gets downhill. Her ability to pull up on a dime and shoot that mid-range.
Steal. Celise Blow through the passing lane, and Chavez rakes her across the arm on her trip up toward the bucket. 2 free throws coming for the Wichita State transfer, Celise Blow. That's the first foul against Chavez.
First personal, team number 2.
One thing A&M can do is get to the free throw line. Certainly Pryor is excellent at it. Celise Blow, you talk with Joni Taylor about the others who can make a difference. You know, Pryor, consistent scoring. John A., consistent scoring. But Blow is one of those, maybe at the top of the list, is that potential third option, Brendan.
Yeah, Coach Taylor, when she talked about Blow, it was, you know, like she can do so many things at both ends of the floor. Kind of indicated to us that Celise sometimes was too hard on herself. Needs to cut herself some slack. But yeah, A&M needs that third score. I mean, Janae Pryor obviously make an impact, but you got to have more than that in this level.
Kaya Smith knocking down that 3. That's her 10th made 3 of the year. Doesn't shoot a lot of them, but she's up around 40% from the 3 line. Oklahoma forcing A&M to scramble a little bit. But you get it to Pryor, things are going to be all right. She goes to the foul line. So confident with the ball in her hands.
Well, Jenny Baranczyk, Chad, specifically mentioned Smith to you and I today. Kind of felt like she'd have a good game here tonight. There's Chavez right there. See that? Just a little bit of forced help. Simple play, kick it to the corner. Those are the type of assists you're starting to see her get more and more of. That's game management right there, and Smith able to deliver.
That's Sarah Pryor. She's been battling some ligament strain in the right hand. You can see her. She's got that tape around the right hand, the right wrist area, but not bothering her. Sacred Heart transfer, and she and John A. played in the same league last year. John A. at St. Peter's and Pryor was at Sacred Heart University, and there the two are right there. John A. rebounds the miss by Pryor and converts it, but they both got into the portal, kind of recruited one another to come to A&M. Turnover, Beers throws it off the fingertips of Chavez.
And right there, A&M, Chad, much better job off the make of sprinting back, getting matched up in transition. So they're able to, on the touch from Beers, force it out, work inside out defensively, and we're able to get that turnover.
John A. fires again. That one too strong. And Williams is fouled by Lauren Ware. Had her hands up and just got in the way.
That was called on the Aggies, number 32, Lauren Ware. First personal, team number 4.
That's the first on Lauren Ware. Looks like the Aggies are going to pick up a little full court as Oklahoma subs in and Chavez off the floor. And Zaya Van is also out. So really no true point guard on the floor for the Sooners, but no problem when you got Peyton Verhulst out there.
Yeah, and you got multiple players that are just skilled out front. I mean, you can include Williams in that. Williams has 29 assists in the last 6 games. There she is right there. Just a versatile player that you can put offensively at multiple spots in the half court.
Williams is actually second on this Sooner team in assists. There's Kaya Smith attacking the basket. Pryor falls down and loses the rebound. And a foul. I think Blow was going to pick that one up. She was on the floor, but down around the feet and or ankles of Williams. Celise Blow picks up her first. That's 5 fouls now, so it's free throw time for the Sooners here in this opening period, and still 3 minutes to go.
And you see Coach Taylor right there. One thing that has happened so far is they've gotten off to a good start. Certainly have to be pleased, A&M, with where they are at this point. You know, they've had this brutal stretch and this brutal schedule, and they've gotten behind the 8 ball early in games, but have hung tough. You know, at no point have they let time and score affect how they're going to compete, but a much better start here so far.
Sahara Williams getting on the board. Sooners are back within 3. Isaiah Lofton, freshman, trying to lock up Pryor. Late shot clock here, 7 to get one away. John A. steps to the rim and misses. And there's Williams. She can be a one-player fast break when she rebounds and pushes. Williams collects it. Good pass out to Smith, who launches and hits another one. Kaya Smith's second three ball ties this game at 18.
And set up right there again by Williams. You mentioned with Chavez being out, not necessarily a true point guard or playmaker, but Williams very good when the ball's in her hands. Always seems to do a great job of taking what the defense gives. Is that less possession right here? Rip through, couple dribbles to the heart of the defense, and you find Smith on the opposite side of the floor this time for his second three.
2 minutes to go in a good first quarter here in Norman. Pryor trying to bang her way to the bucket. Verhulst cut her off. Again, under 10 to get a shot up for the Aggies. And that one was blocked by Kaya Smith. That length, swatting it away from Jordan Webster.
When you watch Oklahoma defensively, because of their versatility and length at multiple positions, they can switch 1 through 4 and sometimes 1 through 5, Chad, depending on personnel. Makes it difficult on your offense.
That is a foul on the inbounds as John A. takes a tumble, and I believe they'll get Reagan Beers for her first personal. She has really battled foul trouble in recent games, and a lot of those have come on the offensive end down at the low post, battling for position. That was just kind of a wrestling match on the inbound play. Webster launches another. And look at Williams securing that one by holding off John A. That one touched off the fingertips by Ware. Did not touch Beers, so it stays with the Sooners.
Well, Oklahoma's so good at pushing, Chad. They don't get anything right there. And if they don't get anything in transition, they've pushed and flattened out the defense. So that allows them to flow right into secondary offense with a little bit of ease.
Williams lines up a three, and that drops. 4 points for Sahara Williams. Her first field goal is a triple, and the Sooners grab the lead for the first time.
Yeah, she can do a little bit of everything. Doesn't take a lot of threes, but makes one every once in a while as you prepare to play Oklahoma. It reminds you to respect that part of her game as well.
This is a 7-0 Oklahoma run in the last minute 30. Remember, the Sooners are the #2 field goal defensive team nationally. They can lock you down, and Kaya Smith's been a big part of that. Teams shoot only 32% against Oklahoma, and A&M got that good start. Feels like Oklahoma's found its footing on the defensive end now. 5 to shoot. A lot of late shot clock situations. Pryor can be a good tonic for that, but she missed.
And with the quickness defensively of that length out there, Oklahoma doing a much better job keeping Pryor in front, being solid, and just using that size to contest right there on that mid-range jumper.
Just lobbing it up to Beers. Williams dumps it down, and Beers puts it in. 9-0 run for the Sooners.
Boy, Beers, so good. I mean, she's talented, has those great hands, but does her work early in terms of posting up. Understands body positioning and thinking ahead while she's trying to get herself free.
John A. Williams sends it away, and it goes off John A. with 5 seconds to play in the first quarter. There's that Oklahoma defense. And you're talking about #2 nationally in field goal defense. Brendan, they are 10th nationally in blocks. They average 6 per game.
And, you know, we mentioned it off the top. And, you know, however far Oklahoma goes in SEC play through February and then into March, it's going to be that end of the floor. That's what makes you think they certainly can make a deep run.
Fan did not get the shot away, but Oklahoma closes on a 9-0 run. They hold A&M scoreless for nearly the final 4 minutes of the opening period, and Oklahoma starting to pull away, Brendan.
Well, big late game in January here in Norman. You got underclassmen, you got veterans. A&M trying to pull off an upset here. Oklahoma up 5 after 1. You're young, like those two are, and you're playing in the best league in the country. I mean, it's a grind. It wears on you physically and mentally. And sometimes they call it that freshman wall, and she's talked to them quite a bit about that, how to plow through it. And they're going to try to do some things tonight to help them be successful so they can carry that forward to the February part of the schedule.
That's the 4th steal for the Aggies. That's kept him in it. Johnny pivots but misses. And Reagan Beers starts the Sooner. Breakout here for Chavez. Bangs her way in. Had it blocked by Johnny, but Chavez will shoot a pair. See who they get the foul against. Johnny.
Aggies foul number 44, back Johnny.
Johnny is now probably going to have to go to the bench, as that is number 2. Aaliyah Chavez, the consensus #1 player in the country coming out of high school. So much about her to have to deal with for her. But as Jenny Baranczyk has told us from day one, this player is about basketball. And maybe for everybody else on the outside, it's about everything else. She's an 18-year-old player going through this for the first time. And Brendan, more than anything, she is a quick study.
Obviously a great talent, but she loves ball and is doing a great job of managing all the outside stuff. You know, from the expectations to just people wanting a piece of her. You know, that she's got to manage something you and I, nobody wants a piece of you and I, so we don't have to deal with that. But that shows her maturity. And she's just, the crazy thing is she's going to continue to get better and better just through experience. And like we've talked about, I think you can see that a little bit with her not forcing the issue as much and letting things come to her.
That stopped an 11-0 Oklahoma run, the bucket by Ware. And now the Aggies a chance to string together back-to-back buckets, or at least back-to-back successful trips, because Pryor is going to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, good job of pushing off the miss right there. And that's Pryor. You know, even at her size, she uses her quickness, change of pace to get those defenders off balance, retreating, and really good at driving the contact. I'm talking about somebody that gets to the line a bunch. Was there 12 times in the first meeting in College Station.
Sarah Pryor transferring in from Sacred Heart. She wanted to be coached hard, wanted to be challenged. And Joni Taylor and her staff, her husband Darius with WNBA ties, the general manager of the Connecticut Sun and WNBA coaching experience as well. They can get her ready to play on the next level. And she wants to win. Gets her own rebound. Reset here for the Aggies, down 5. Foul line's been tough for A&M. They're just 2 of 5 so far. Under 5 to shoot. Pryor cut off by Chavez. Circles around her, but had to take a tough shot. And the Sooners run. Zaya Van. Verhulst launches a 3. That's good.
Well, that's, again, the ability of Oklahoma to push from multiple positions. Van flattens out the defense, draws some help, and you have Verhulst coming over the top, trailing the play for a wide open 3. And that's a great look as a shooter, that inside out where you're automatically and naturally squared up to the basket.
Aggies content to work the shot clock, down under 5 again. Pryor needs to find a look. Janae Kent pulls up the mid-range, unsuccessful. Rebounded by Anita Franchini. And a foul underneath. I think they get Stewart.
Now watch this, Chad. This is defensively. You know, the ability of Oklahoma to switch. And a great job of Chavez not giving up on the players Pryor tried to turn the corner. That's another area I think that Chavez is growing. It's just the defensive end of the floor. I mean, obviously, it's much more of an importance and premium now that she's in the SEC.
So what's the key to beating a defense that consistently wants to switch, Brendan?
Well, ultimately, if you get some matchups that you like, you get to switch in those matchups. And there are a couple that Pryor could take advantage of.
Another late shot clock. Franchini earns a pair.
But again, I mean, it's a great question, too. It's like, what is the answer? Because we've sat here and told you how good Oklahoma is defensively, the versatility they have to switch. And that's why, you know, Coach Taylor, you know, she didn't mince words. This team has labored to score at times, particularly in the half court. So how can they manufacture some other things? Early in the game, they turned Oklahoma over. They've got a couple of putbacks. Those are the type of things that have to happen. And they really got to lean on their defense. You know, right now is a crucial part of the game. They've hung tough. And obviously they compete at a high level. You don't want this thing to go from 8 to 15, you know, quickly, which can when you play a team like Oklahoma.
And the Aggies unable to take advantage of their trips to the foul line. 2 of 8 here in this first half. That is the charity stripe not being very charitable to Texas A&M. We go back and forth with fouls on either end.
Yeah, that's a good point. That, you know, that 2 for 8 though, Chad, they've got to continue to do that and not be discouraged because they haven't been able to finish at the foul line. They're doing the right things in terms of trying to get there.
That's 2 fouls on Frankini, by the way, as Beatrice Culleton chases down the miss. And Williams can't convert again. A third try. That one is blocked. Sent away by Frankini. Right back in. The Sooners persistent. Working it inside, and it pays off in 2 for Culleton.
Boy, great vision right there from Smith. Looked like she was going to step into a shot or look to drive it to the paint. It sees Culleton right there with the size. Defense had turned its back.
That time they'll get Emerald Parker for an illegal screen, knocking down Kaya Smith.
Watch this right here. Multiple efforts right there from Williams. Well, that's great vision right there from Smith. Almost as soon as it touched her hands, boom, that ball was gone.
How about Beatrice Culleton playing with that heavy bandage and that wrap on her right hand? Hadn't played the last 3 as she has nursed that, but Oklahoma's trainer Brittany Beaver, they were able to get that on there. They really didn't know that you could play with that type of a wrap, but you certainly can, and they're happy to have her out there. Beers open, flashes free. Chavez finds her, and the Sooners lead by a dozen.
Yeah, when the ball's in Chavez's hands, obviously, whether she's scoring or driving, there's still so much emphasis in terms of keeping her in front and then help to corral her. And then you, right there, she just caught the defense looking. That's just terrific play, letting the game come to her. Again, improving a lot here as of late in the half court in terms of a game manager.
We've got an alert, Brendan. That is a 3 seconds in the lane call. Go in the Wayback Machine to the last time you saw that one called. They get Vanessa Seydoux for it. 3 seconds in the lane.
Well, usually that means you're in there 4 or 5, right?
Yeah, they'll let you get away with 3, maybe 4, but you're not going to camp. 6 minutes to play opening half. Texas A&M led early. This is a current 7-0 run by Oklahoma. And a whistle and a foul inside. They get Beers. I was kind of blocked there. Beers posting. 3 seconds in the lane on Beers. What?
Like the announcer
We've run out of our
you make a big deal out of a
3-second
call on that end, and we get back-to-back.
Yeah, I'll show you, Mr. Announcer Guy. How about back-to-back trips? That's more than I've seen this season combined.
It's because everybody's down the perimeter wanting to shoot it.
You can relate. Kaya Smith, the rip and run. A step through earns a foul. She is so long and athletic on both ends of the floor. It shows up.
Yeah, that's why it's imperative you take care of it against Oklahoma. It's important that you don't take quick shots because of this. Now you have broken floors. There's Smith. Watch this split. I mean, that's an athlete right there. Doing a great job of getting to the rim.
You know, Oklahoma is super interesting because you think Reagan Beers, Peyton Verhulst, and you think Sahara Williams in particular. You think, well, that's a veteran team. But this is a super youthful team outside of those players mainly, and Kaya Smith is one of them. She played very sparingly as a freshman last year. I mean, in experience-wise, she's just now at about a year of college basketball experience, right?
Yeah. I mean, 5 of their top 8 in the rotation are underclassmen. You got the 3 freshmen and the sophomores and Van and Smith.
A&M trying to find it offensively. Only 2 points in this quarter. Hilton sweeps past Smith, but then traveled with it. There's that defensive rotation from Williams that forces turnover number 6 against the Aggies.
Yeah, Oklahoma continues to be disciplined defensively. Not going for ball fakes, head fakes, staying on the floor, and really causing A&M into some unforced type of turnovers.
Oklahoma in the midst of a 9-0 run, but the Sooners commit a giveaway, and that is number 8 against Oklahoma. It's hit the reset button here. Both teams a little stuck in the mud offensively midway through the second quarter. Sooners lead by 14. You're watching the SEC on ESPN.
This is a deep team. We've talked about it. That is really good on both ends.
But Jenny Baranczyk said to us about Kaya Smith, she said, you know, last year on a team that had a bunch of seniors, her mission was just to try to find playing time. This year, it's about how do I help my team win? And that's been part of her rapid growth as a Sooner. Where's A&M going to go here for some offense, Brendan? Well, they have only 2 points in the period.
Obviously, Pryor is the one that's going to initiate everything. They got to continue to try to attack the paint. Touches inside, driving downhill.
Trying to go in there to Ware, and Beers just stripped it. Beers' backside was open, and Burles was trying to throw her open. Instead, she turned it over. 9 Oklahoma giveaways. That's helped A&M to stay within reasonable shouting distance.
Yeah, A&M, they just need a couple of positive offensive possessions to get back into this one.
Content to let the shot clock work down. In it goes to Ware. Runs into Beers and traveled with it. Beers just not giving an inch in solid, straight-up defensive position.
Yeah, again, just so strong. And then she has Ware, Chad, look at it. I mean, she's outside the restricted arc area. Beers doing a good job with positional defense, not letting herself get buried deep. And obviously a strong body that held true right there.
Williams back cut. Smith feeds her, and the Sooners lead by 14. There's a travel against the Aggies on the inbound play. Beg your pardon, by 16 is the Sooner lead.
Well, Oklahoma is moving Beers around the floor in the half court offensively more this season. You see her up high. They run stuff through her. What that does, it creates space. Oklahoma, a back door right there with all of that room, and that's created because you bring Beers away from the basket.
Verhulst stops and pops. There's Beers back up and in. Well, she leads the country in double-doubles for the season, Reagan Beers. She has 15 this year. A&M watching Oklahoma go on a now 13-0 run. 2 points for the Aggies here in the second quarter. Thirsty for some offense. Shot clock is under 10. Nothing available. Steenbergen puts it on the deck, and a turnover.
Yeah, that possession right there, you know, reminds me of part of our conversation today with Coach Taylor. She was talking about this ball club. You know, in this league, you're facing these tough defenses, and Oklahoma, one of the best. It's that next level, that second, third layer of your offense. I mean, you're not going to get anything early. It's fighting through that hard cuts, hard ball movement, and you can't give up on it, even against good defenses.
Kent for 3. Beers sandwiched, and it goes out of bounds off of either Janae or Ware. To the Sooners it will go. Yeah, you mentioned it. Joni Taylor said to us, the stinginess of these SEC defenses will test your patience offensively.
And they have gone through a stretch of some of the best, because they've gone through a stretch of the best teams in the league. I don't care men's, women's side, what conference. You look at the top of the standings year in and year out, those teams are typically the best on the defensive end of the floor. I mean that's a fact. And so they've not only faced these excellent ball clubs that are talented, but really good defensive teams. It's made it tough on them.
Only team in the country to face 3 straight top 10 teams this year. And on the court with the number 10 team in the country here tonight. Aaliyah Chavez hits a pair. 9 points for the freshman tonight. This is a 15-0 Oklahoma run.
Man, when you say that out loud, I mean it's brutal.
The top 10 teams?
Yeah.
Which way do you go in the
that
SEC?
stretch.
I mean, Oklahoma, now, this is an unranked team, but they get right back into ranked teams. They're going to play 6 games or 6 teams in 8 games against the top 18. I don't know if you know this, but the SEC set a record this week with 10 teams in the top 25 and 5 in the top 10. 20-point margin for the Sooners. Aggies looking for offense here from Janae Kent and Pryor. And a turnover.
Yeah, great rotation. You see Verhulst right there, rotating from the weak side for that steal.
Verhulst an open look. That's down. And a foul at the end of it. On the box out, Seydoux knocked over Verhulst.
Well, right here, here's Verhulst, who career-wise, Chad, has really shot the basketball well. This year, her three-point numbers are down. But what you love about her, this is her experience. It doesn't affect the other areas of the game that she touches. I mean, good rebounder, sees the floor well. She's tough. I mean, that's why Jenny Baranczyk has her out there 34-plus minutes. They need her out on the floor. If she can start making that shot just at a little bit higher clip, I mean, that can take Oklahoma to another level. It really can.
Kent buries an important bucket. It's only the second field goal of the quarter for the Aggies. Reagan Beers off the mark with that one. Wrestling match for the rebound collected by Kent, who just hit the 3. Now Kent the hard drive, and she's got 2 buckets in a row.
Nice job right there. Strong move from Kent. You know, really when you look at this team, Kent to me is that A&M player, if you could get a little more consistency out of it.
Beers able to work open on the backside. Verhulst found her. Yeah, Kent's coming off a 15-point game on the road against Missouri. And a good fit off the bench is Kent for the Aggies, and they could use some more scoring tonight. Less than a minute to go in the first half. Current 21-5 spurt put on here by Oklahoma. There's Kent again, and not blocked as it goes out of bounds. Zahara Williams returns to the Sooner lineup. Got about 6 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. So Elise Blow trying to keep up out front with Chavez. Shot clock trickling. They double team Chavez. Keziah Lofton launches. Johnny the rebound. Aggies have some time in the hands of Pryor. Sprints end to end. Chavez blocked it but fouled her. So 2 free throws to close the half by Pryor. And that'll be foul number 2 on Chavez.
That's one of the rare times this first half that Pryor's been able to push and transition. Oklahoma's done a nice job getting back right there. Not as good a communication as Jenny Baranczyk would want. And Pryor, who is so adept at getting the line, finds herself there once again.
She is top 10 nationally in both steals and assists, second in the SEC in assists, and first in steals. 60 steals for Pryor. That's what you expect from the free throw line. And that will do it for the first half. A little bit sluggish early, but Oklahoma breaks out. And the Sooners will carry a 19-point lead in the halftime locker room. They outscore the Aggies by 14 in the second quarter at the Lloyd Noble Center, Brendan.
Well, they've been terrific. A&M was really good early. Oklahoma picked up that defensive end of the floor like they do, and then they've been flowing ever since. Chavez, Beers, and the entire squad up 19 here in Norman. Chad, but it all goes back to that defensive end of the floor. It can only happen if you get stops, and Oklahoma does.
Reagan Beers leads the way with 10 for the Sooners, but they've been balanced. Aaliyah Chavez has 9, and Kaya Smith has come off the bench to score 8 points for Oklahoma. So many different players that can hit you on a night-to-night basis, but you know Beers and Chavez right there are going to be right in the middle of it. So Texas A&M looking to find some offensive firepower here in the second half. 6 points from Lauren Ware. They went to her in the early going, and Oklahoma did a good job on Nicera Pryor. She had only 5 in the opening half. Chavez starts the second half with the ball in her hands. Verhulst, the back down. Beers in traffic, can't wrangle that one away, but it's off the Aggies, and it will stay right here.
Yeah, obviously A&M, what you want is a good start here. You know, they've struggled in third quarters. Only Taylor talked to you and I about that earlier today.
Beers goes up strong right through Ware and scores. She's got a dozen.
That's the intelligence of Beers right there. A pass or two ahead, walks her defender up the lane, creates body contact, and once she has contact with you, she will not let you go.
Underneath, easy scoop and score for Lauren Ware. Lauren Ware isn't able to practice with the team. She'll get her cranky knees healthy in the offseason, be ready to go on a professional career as Williams lines up and drops home a 3. She's made 2 of those tonight. 51-29 Sooners. Here's Pryor. Williams blocked it but fouled her first.
Now, here's that Beers post up on the underneath out of bounds, Chad. Watch this right here. She's going to see her walk up the lane and then seal right there. I mean, she's going to have you dead to rights. Good post entry pass. Obviously, that's a design play off the underneath out of bounds. But the timing was perfect, too. And just her intellect, her feel. You know, we talk so much about how her feel with her hands because she has terrific hands. I mean, you throw it in there. If she gets those hands on it, she's going to corral and grab it. But she's also got tremendous feel in terms of bodying up, understanding angles, and it just makes it really, really difficult to defend.
She really does remind you of one of the all-time greats who played at Oklahoma, and that's Courtney Paris. As you talked about, their games are similar. Great hands and lots of double-doubles. Transition run out, and Hilton couldn't convert it. Zia Van a little strong with that 3, but it ricochets right out to Verhulst for the reset.
Well, that last one from A&M, that bunny, boy, when you're trying to grind back into a game, and those have to go down, you have those opportunities.
Third triple of the night for Sahara Williams. Oklahoma by 24, 2 minutes into the second half. She's made 13 threes on the season, 3 of them in this ballgame.
You know, Oklahoma's good enough already. She starts doing that at a higher clip. Talked about Verhulst as well. That's the thing about this Oklahoma team. There are subtle ways, if you will, that they can continue to get better at both ends, really.
3 skips across the rim from Hilton, and Chavez rebounds and ups the tempo. Verhulst lining it up.
Yeah.
That's good. Timeout, Texas A&M. It's the third 3 of the night for Verhulst. She and Williams have combined to make a half a dozen, and the Sooners lead by 27.
Well, on cue, there's the third 3 of the night from Williams. It was a smooth, pretty shot, and then Verhulst. Chavez buying just enough time for Verhulst to get in position and Oklahoma out of the second half gate in a great way. Oh, and Kaya Smith off the bench, 2 of 2 herself. So there's 8 of the 9 3-point makes for Oklahoma so far here tonight. You know, Jenny Baranczyk, when she talked to us today, you know, it's like, okay, you're about to February, and we asked, what are some ways that you can get a little bit better? One of those things she pointed out is I'd probably like a little more balance in terms of point production offensively throughout our lineup. They are getting that tonight in a really good way. And I'll go back to Chavez. I mean, she is figuring out, you want the ball in her hands. She's going to have games where she's going to take 20 shots and do things like she did against South Carolina. But she's only taken 5 shots tonight. And she has played really well at both ends of the floor. She has 4 assists and 1 turnover.
Ware back up with that one to put it in. That stops a 6-0 Oklahoma run. Ware's had a nice night for the Aggies. She's into double figures. First Aggie with 10 or more tonight. And that one whipped out of bounds, trying to hit Beers flashing free, but it soars out. Back to your point with Aaliyah Chavez. Again, it's sometimes hard to remember. She's an 18-year-old freshman going through all of the SEC gauntlet for the very first time. She has learned extremely quickly. As you talked about, the efficiency of her game has just increased here the last 4 or 5 times out.
Well, I'll go back to something you said about her earlier tonight, was her love of the game. I mean, she works hard at it, but there's a sincere passion for it and joy. She just happens to be really, really good at it.
2 to shoot here. We'll see if Pryor recognizes it. Hilton does. It'll be a shot clock violation. I mean, Oklahoma's defense, once again, Texas A&M shooting below 35% tonight.
Well, a lot of length across the board, and here's Brooklyn Stewart, freshman right there, you know, who continues to get better and better. And they've started, Oklahoma has, putting Beers and Stewart out there together more at the same time.
Hilton on the backside converts. Sooners by 23.
Nice job of A&M right there. Vision, advancing the ball up the floor with the pass much quicker. Got behind Oklahoma's defense right there.
Hilton's a player from Ontario. Team Canada, played for the 18 and under Canadian national team. And of course, Joni Taylor, that experience coaching the USA under 19 national team. She knew of Hilton, and when Hilton decided to transfer from Miami, where she spent a couple of seasons, she knew about the international player. That experience. Jenny Baranczyk has had Team USA experience. There's the international Aggies, and certainly has helped with Coach Taylor being able to be on the international stage and kind of spread the word about Texas A&M basketball.
Well, the recruitment of international players has been important for a long time, because obviously, you know, over the last, about 30 years, the game outside the United States has grown, and in some facets has outgrown the United States. But I think it's even more important than ever, right, that Coach Taylor has that type of connection and recruiting opportunities, if you will, because, you know, the turnover within rosters every single year. So to have that is certainly going to be an advantage moving forward.
Pryor trying to facilitate for Webster. And Stewart, tough rebound there for the Sooner freshman. Here's Williams to the bucket, blocked, but it stays on this end. Well, they're in traffic. Franchini was able to get up there and stretch out, get a piece of it. A 24-point Oklahoma lead. Largest has been 27. There's a steal by Pryor. She is second in the country at ripping it away, and she converts.
Yeah, Chad, her quickness and her anticipation, boy, was on display right there. Yeah, you don't want that ball floating up in the, I don't care if she's 10 feet away or 40 feet away. That ball's up in the air that long. good chance she's going to get a hand on it.
10 to shoot for the Sooners. There's that high-low game, and you said it. Jenny Baranczyk playing Reagan Beers and Brooklyn Stewart together more. That's an example of why they love it.
Yeah, and Beers has really become very good at that high post area. And good passer. She's got about 45 assists already on the year from the 5 position. What Jenny Baranczyk can do, she can invert those two out there, go high-low. Stewart can handle it a little bit too, as Beers is posting inside.
Whipped inside toward Frankini, and Beers with the good hustle to save that one and get Oklahoma possession as we go to break. Sooners lead by 24, looking for their 4th consecutive win.
Because of her size, she sees over the defense. And those good hands and that soft touch on those passes, and obviously Oklahoma then therefore has great spacing and just a terrific job of Jenny Baranczyk recognizing that, and that's the more of the versatility now I think you're seeing with Oklahoma, more so than last year with Beers.
Your telestration was almost as good as the play itself, partner. Some of your best work. Congratulations.
Boy, I felt like I went back in time. Years ago, we had one of those every game.
Aggies substituting. Talia Kavoka is in for the first time tonight, just trying to find some offense. Crashing in goes Blow, and Sahara Williams rebounds it. Sooners not afraid to run. Zia Van. There's Beers trying to collect it right into the lap of Smith, who's having a night. She's into double figures now.
Yeah, Smith only played 5 minutes at Auburn. And obviously, most nights she's going to play more meaningful time out on the floor than that. But you can see, it's almost, you know, obviously Jenny Baranczyk had a conversation with her tonight. She is playing intuitive and instinctively at both ends of the floor. Defensively, she's been great all year, but offensively, she's just making plays without hesitation for Oklahoma tonight.
Here's that youth of Oklahoma. They sub in 3 freshmen, including Chavez, along with the seniors Verhulst and Culleton. Talia Kavoka gonna inbound. She's one of the international players. There's another international player, Oklahoma's first Irish player, Emma Tolan, who is in. So here's Kavoka. She's from France. Limited playing time this year. Played for France's under-17 team in the FIBA Under-17 World Cup a couple of years ago. Some talent from overseas, as we talked about, for Joni Taylor. Valuable experience in the SEC tonight. Tough floater there for Chavez, but she got bumped by Jordan Webster. 2 free throws here for Aaliyah Chavez. Oklahoma by 26 with a little over 3 to go here in the period. Largest Sooner lead has been 27. And you start to look at this SEC schedule for both of these teams, and Texas A&M's strength of schedule is number 6 in the country. Even tougher, honestly, when you adjust it based upon the teams that they have played. You know, you go into a year and you think, well, that team might be down a little bit, but they're not. And this team might not be as good, but they're good. And A&M's kind of had a little bit of that as well. It has been a high degree of difficulty. But you say the same thing for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You know, they played 3 straight against top 18 teams.
Well, one thing that A&M has is a coach that's been in this league a long time. This is a veteran that's coached at a high level. And she talked a lot about, Coach Taylor to us today, about educating her ball club that they have very little experience in the SEC. Educating them on, hey, we could play well for 3 straight games, feel good about how we're playing, and still get beat. So there's a real perspective and context to it, right? When you're playing in a league as hard as this.
Yeah, this league can make you feel worse than you're actually playing. Webster trying to shake free from Culleton. 1 to shoot, and a shot clock violation. It's the difference for Oklahoma this year, the way that they have defended, and it matriculates down to the bench as well.
And I just was thinking, you know, it's really nice to see a team that values keeping the ball in front. Just getting down, containing, taking care of your defensive assignment. Because the thing that's going to break a defense down the most is giving up dribble containment. But you know, it's tough to get teams collectively. You might have 2 or 3 do it, but you're only good defensively as the player who is least dedicated to it.
So what's the secret to getting a team to defend collectively? Because your former coach, Eddie Sutton, was one of the best all time at being able to do that and get it out of his team.
Well, I mean, one way would be if you don't do it, you can sit next to the coaching staff. But it's much more difficult now. The game has changed, and Chavez reminds us right here of her ability to score. I think that's the million-dollar question, and not just for me. I mean, you ask these coaches all over the country, it's becoming a bigger challenge, the defensive end of the floor.
14 now for Chavez, and Blow has the answer the other way. Her 7th made 3 of the year. Under a minute to go now in the 3rd. And a turnover. Stepping into the passing lane comes Webster.
Yeah, really good rotation right there by Webster. Lofton trying to use her size as a big guard on that possession to post up inside.
Aggies play the shot clock down. And a fairly quiet night for Johnny. She has only 7 points. She'll try to change it here, and she will. Double figures for her now.
Well, they want her to be more offensive minded. I mean, obviously her forte. I mean, she is an elite rebounder, that energy that she plays with.
Verhulst. She has been money tonight. That is her 4th made 3. 13 for Peyton Verhulst. And the Sooners lead by 28, headed to the 4th in pursuit of a 3rd consecutive win. Jenny Baranczyk's team shooting 53%. And the 6-time SEC Freshman of the Year doing her thing. 14 for Aaliyah Chavez, to the delight of her dad sitting courtside in Norman. Those 2 games. They'll get Florida here at the Lloyd Noble Center and then right back to it on the road with 2 more top 25 teams in Alabama and Georgia. But do not tell Joni Taylor and the Aggies that your schedule is too difficult because of what they've had to go through. 3 straight games against top 10 teams. No other team in the country has had to do that. A strength of schedule that rates number 6, and look what they get. Monday, yeah, they get to go home, but they get to face back-to-back top 25 teams, including number 3 South Carolina. Brendan, I mean, as Joni Taylor was talking about, and more specifically with her team, everything is difficult. You pick which difficult you want.
Man, but do you really want that?
Not so much.
I guess, I don't know. Sometimes we try to find the silver lining. Maybe that for A&M is 3 of the next 4 are at home.
There you go.
5 of the next 7.
You have to take it, and you just have to keep moving on. As Joni Taylor talked about, she said, I heard a long time ago from my mom and dad that if you get stuck in the storm, don't pull over with the cloud over your head, because it stays over your head. You just have to keep going, even if you have to drive 40 miles an hour. Verhulst off the mark with that one. Just good perspective, and she has a lot of it.
She does. And I told her, there's about 4 things she said today that I'm going to steal and tell my boys. I told her that I'd give her credit, because they'll be like, where'd you hear that? We know that you didn't come up with that on your own.
Winter is coming to ask what you were doing all summer.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, that was a good
one,
one,
too. That was one of my favorites.
Back the other way it goes. These 2 coaches have become good friends. Of course, both spending time coaching in USA basketball. And Jenny Baranczyk, she said, Joni Taylor, and they're both big fans of each other, as Chavez is off the mark with that one. But when Oklahoma joined the SEC, Joni Taylor was one of the first to help Oklahoma and Jenny Baranczyk's staff. Verhulst having a night, Brendan, and that's a great sign for her. You mentioned it. Career-wise, she's been a very good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, she shot it well. I mean, 35% career three-point shooter. A little under 30, but she's above that now. But if you look at a couple games recently, the lid has come off the basket a little bit for her as of late.
Had to shoot here into the hands of Chavez. Verhulst, a blow-by off the hesitation there. And Webster collects the rebound for the Aggies. Here's Pryor, really good in that mid-range, but not this time. And it trickles on out of bounds. Aggies going to go to the bench and see some of their youth back in. Cheney Spencer, freshman, enters the lineup, and there's Lamaya Hilton. You know, this is a roster with 12 new players, 7 transfers, 5 freshmen, most new players in the SEC. Culleton with the hustle to the floor, but it's picked out by Hilton. In it goes to Ware. And a whistle and a foul will be against Verhulst. And so Lauren Ware goes to the free throw line. 6th collegiate season for Lauren Ware. She had a COVID year and a medical redshirt year as well when she was at Arizona. And here's a good one. So this team, as many of us did, experienced snow and ice. A lot of travel problems, and Texas A&M had some difficulties, and they want to give a shout out to the Missouri staff for helping out. But they got home to College Station, and their cars, snow and ice all over them. Brendan, who was the only player with an ice scraper?
Lauren Ware.
Yeah.
Only one with an ice scraper in her car. The North Dakota roots, I'm sure, played a part.
Beautiful back cut there by Lofton, and Verhulst deals it for Jenny Baranczyk's team. They've been super efficient offensively again.
And those back doors can only work if you cut hard. And here's the other side of it. You cut hard and it's defended well, there's usually some kind of help involved. And then that frees up something later in the offensive possession. But let's take a look from Oklahoma in the half court once again. I mean, that's just a great cut. Good face up. Yeah, there's Coach Baranczyk. There's that sharing of the ball, continued balance offensively that we've seen from the Sooners tonight.
Back in is Beers. And there's the toughness of Lauren Ware, and she is tough.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt she's not 100%, but she doesn't allow that to be excused. She's had a good night. I mean, it's tough to go against and bang inside against Beers. Right there, that last possession defensively, really holding strong, not allowing Beers to convert.
7 minutes to go in Norman tonight. Oklahoma took control in the first quarter after Texas A&M led quickly 5-0. Zia Van in and out with that one. Cheney Spencer, nice dribble penetration, and Ware cashes in with the foul line jumper.
A nice play right there by Spencer. Oklahoma not getting matched up right there in transition. A little drive to the heart of the defense.
Williams turns it over, trying to lob it over the top of Ware, but that's tough to do. Ware goes about 6'5". Spencer off the mark. And I think Franchini was standing on the baseline when she tried to save that ball. Pryor returns. Oklahoma's done a solid job on her tonight. 8 points, 3 assists. Oklahoma's done an excellent job all season long defensively. Let's look at their numbers. They have held 17 of their 20 opponents below 40% shooting as Oklahoma. And again tonight, A&M shooting 34%.
Yeah, and that's, you know, one of the statistics I always look at, and particularly when you get a a sample size of games in SEC play. You know, most of these SEC teams are paying guaranteed games. You know, you're going to go outside a conference and try to schedule well, like an Oklahoma and A&M did. But you know, when you get 6, 7, 8 games under your belt, you know, I'm looking at statistics defensively, and I always look at field goal percentage defense, because Oklahoma in the middle of the league in terms of scoring defense, in terms of points, but the pace with which they play with, there's a lot more possessions. So a better barometer night in and night out is exactly what you said, Chad. I mean, what are you holding teams to from the floor?
Kent able to get an angle and earn a trip to the foul line. 3-point opportunity here for Janae Kent.
Nice drive right here. Just turns the corner enough. I mean, that's a nifty play right there, right around the freshman Stewart. We talked about this A&M team. I mean, they're at no point are they not going to get after it on a possession. And honestly, it obviously has to do with Coach Taylor, but Pryor doesn't take any possessions off. She's trying to lead them through a tough stretch here in conference play.
Beers, I think, got a little shot to the eye. Janae is whistled for the foul. And we'll see if Reagan Beers is okay as they get tangled up. 3 fouls on Janae. And Beers is headed over to the bench, replaced by Culleton. Reagan Beers tonight, 12 points, 3 rebounds, but 5 assists. Oklahoma, it almost gets lost just how well and excellent they shared the basketball, Brendan.
Yeah, and so that makes 48 on the year for Beers with a lot of games left. Her career high was a sophomore season at Oregon State with 51. I mean, it's really impressive the way that she's able literally to distribute, mostly from that high post position.
Zia Van, everything but the finish right there. Pryor, and Williams is called for the reach-in foul.
Williams or her coach doesn't like that one right there.
Sahara Williams, though, such a presence for Oklahoma, and something that Jenny Baranczyk was talking about with us. The South Carolina game in particular, you talk so many players played a role in Oklahoma winning that game, and she talked about Sahara Williams playing with joy. And she said part of her presence is that joy with which she can play. Back cut Van, and there's Williams delivering.
Yeah, another hard cut again. You know, A&M's going to pressure the ball, pressure passers, extend up one pass away, and Oklahoma bringing all 5 up the floor and able to take advantage once again.
Hilton darts along the baseline and reverses in 2 more for the Aggies. Van stepped on the baseline. Sooners have turned it over 16 times on the night. We've got a timeout. Jenny Baranczyk going to have a little word with the officials. Sahara Williams in her bag, dealing, and Zia Van happy to be on the receiving end. Sooners by 26 with 4.5 to play at the Lloyd Noble Center.
Check in Oklahoma. Now, how about Mississippi State? I'm telling you, I mean, there is not a night that you can not play well and still expect to win. Doesn't matter who you are. 3rd
win for Mississippi State in conference play, but a big one, handing the Lady Vols their first loss. There's Brooklyn Stewart freeing herself for 2. Her first field goal of the night. That's out of bounds and headed the other way as it goes off of Franchini. It's almost pick your poison in the conference, you know, making history with 10 teams in the top 25 and 5 of the top 10. South Carolina bouncing back from their loss to Oklahoma by handing Vanderbilt its first loss over the weekend. Brooklyn Stewart steps away this time. Keziah Lofton puts it up and in.
That ball just kind of landed right where Lofton was. Good job with the ability to go right back with it. For Oklahoma right now, Chad, obviously Chavez out. This gives, to me, Smith, it gives Lofton and Tolan an opportunity to kind of manage the game running offense. All right, no pressure, you're up 30. That's not your role for 30 minutes a night like it would be for Chavez, but this is what Jenny Baranczyk is looking for out of that young perimeter right now. How do they close out this game? And you'll be able to tell by watching Coach Baranczyk when she's pleased and when she's not. I mean, she's up 30, and she's obviously still over there trying to get this group better, depth, continue to develop, get it better.
These are the moments that can earn you some valuable playing time later on this season. And a timeout taken as Tolan got herself trapped. A quick timeout with Oklahoma up by 29 and 3:27 to go. If you're just joining us, Texas A&M actually led this game 5-0. Oklahoma awakened and went on a run. They outscored the Aggies 23-9 in the second quarter to stretch this lead out. And Oklahoma has done it with their defense. Once again, A&M shooting 35% from the field. And this would be the 16th time that Oklahoma has held an opponent below 40% from the field. It has started there. You've known about the offenses of Jenny Baranczyk's teams since she arrived at Oklahoma. They're number 2 in the country in scoring. And now they've added this defensive element. And Brendan, it's not, as you said, just because maybe of who you have played. They are good defensively.
Yeah. Sound. I mean, they can pressure the ball. They can get up in passing lanes. You obviously have some size inside that discourages teams from driving it in there, particularly with Beers. You know, Brooklyn Stewart is coming along, and young freshman at 6'3" in terms of rim protection, etc. But what you like about it, it's sound. I mean, it's keep the ball in front, contain, help position, rotation. You know, when you have to rotate, get rematched up. This is a very good defensive ball club.
Brooklyn Stewart showing you the footwork there and batted out of bounds. They'll say Kaya Smith touched it last.
You know, they're just not out of position a lot.
Yeah, you don't have to be great, just be in the right place. Yeah. Pryor, nice baseline find. And you see why she averages better than 7 assists per game.
Out of position right there, huh?
Well, I wasn't going to mention that. Beatrice Culleton is in position on the backside to get that easy lay-in. She's got 4 points.
Yeah, nice job handling the pressure, the double team, and then Culleton did a nice job. She obviously she went to the basket, but she went to a window where the passer could see her. Vacated to an open spot.
Nice stop and start there by Pryor to get 2 more free throws for her. Foul is on Keziah Lofton. She picks up her second. Oklahoma long ago putting this one away. He's continued to stack good performances. You know, Jenny Baranczyk was also talking about, you know, this is the only time in the regular season that you see a team twice. You play one team twice in conference play, and you're so focused on what lies ahead that you don't often go back and look at how your team performed. This was, the first meeting was all the way back on New Year's Day, and Jenny Baranczyk said it was interesting to go watch the progress that her team has made since then, because you don't often do it.
She always gives these great answers that make you go, you know, I haven't thought of it like that, and that makes sense. And, you know, I asked her, I mean, how are you guys different from 4 weeks ago when you played, and what, you know, how have you gotten better? And she goes, that's interesting. It's hard to say because every game in the SEC, essentially, with the exception of tonight, right, is a brand new opponent you haven't faced yet, and you're focused so much on that preparation and what needs to be done. She said sometimes, and I love her honesty, you kind of forget to think about the progress. Because the priority is to get ready to play your next opponent. Make sure you understand who they are, what they do in terms of scouting.
Under 2 to go. Stewart continues to work hard in there. And she'll shoot 2 more free throws.
Wait, Stewart, probably as much as anybody right now, in my opinion, for Oklahoma, her trajectory and improvement is at the highest angle.
And so much fun, you know, Jenny Baranczyk has had with Brooklyn Stewart. Always a positive attitude, and she has chest bumped Coach Baranczyk in practice and also told her congratulations after a halftime speech. Said, great job, Coach. Congratulations on that. She said, I think that's a first for Coach Baranczyk in her coaching career. Kent has had a good night. Beatrice Culleton with the Sooner rebound. Sooners able to get, as we've talked about, a lot of good playing time. You've got 3 freshmen and a sophomore on the floor for Oklahoma right now. Kaya Smith, a little off the mark with that one, but she's got 11 points. As we touch about a minute to go in this one. Texas A&M, they have struggled, just a 1-7 start, but you wouldn't know it when you visit shoot around at practice. Still very lively and engaged. Joni Taylor and her staff have been together for so long, keeping it positive. And there'll be brighter days ahead. Part of the reason is they have that player right there, Nycera Pryor. A dozen for her tonight. Stewart, the back cut, but knocked away. Stays right here with the Sooners. So for Oklahoma, they will have a road trip to Austin coming up next to face number 5 Texas. Then 7 days before they go on the road to take on Vanderbilt. Texas A&M back home, but South Carolina coming to town next.
Yeah, no, man, the phrase "no rest for the weary" gets thrown out a lot, but it's certainly it's appropriate for both these ball clubs. You know, A&M's just got to continue to keep plugging. You know, they do a lot of good things. You know, they got to find some things out offensively. Oklahoma did a good job on Pryor tonight. I think it's a tough matchup for Pryor. Pryor's used to playing against larger, longer people, but Oklahoma can switch and was long at multiple spots, and it's one of the reasons they're so good is that defensive end of the floor and the versatility there.
25 straight wins against unranked foes for Jenny Baranczyk's team, as they have strung together 3 consecutive SEC victories to get themselves to 5-3 in league play. Texas A&M will fall to 1-7, playing 4 top 10 teams in the last 5 games. Doesn't get any easier as they face South Carolina next, as these good friends and head coaches exchange pleasantries, and the players will do the same. But Oklahoma, after a 5-0 Texas A&M start, we saw the Sooner team that college basketball this year's become accustomed to seeing, and that is very good on the defensive end and turning in that into offensive success.
Yeah, and that's the key. You said it right there, Chad. Obviously, this level you have to get stops, but their ability to push on those misses or those stops is about as good as anybody in the country. And obviously, when you turn people over, that's great. You get a one and done, that's great, but they can also do it off makes, and they're continually putting pressure on the defense of the other team.